Hello, hello. Welcome in, everybody. This is our last session. If you've been with us since the beginning, shout out to you because it has been a journey this week, and I hope that everybody has learned some stuff throughout these sessions. We've even had some BCC software employees tuning in every day to these sessions, and it's been really wonderful to be a part of that and have everyone else be a part of that as well. So thank you so much for being on this journey with us. It's been really fun. This session is a little different than everything else you've seen. This session is focused on our self-service and our support tools that exist. We've got 3 of our support people with us who are going to be presenting, and we've got several other BCC support people who are tuning in as well to help cheer on their fellow support people at BCC Software. It's a really great team. So before we dive in, I just want to remind everybody, these sessions have all been recorded all week long, and we will get those recordings out to you. Brandon just needs a little bit of a recovery moment tonight. So once I get those sessions downloaded and get them uploaded into a space, we're going to make them accessible for everybody. The chat and the Q&A is available throughout this session. If there are specific things that you are looking for, if there are specific things that you're looking to get more access to, that you don't know how to get access to within, whether it's a software product or whether it's related to the portal, please put it in chat. We've got some great people here with us. Kendra, I did give you a shout out because somebody was asking about learning more about something specific, and I said, oh, you can reach out to support. I said, or talk to Kendra next week. She'll be with us. So for those of you who are going to be with us next week, Kendra will be with us in Nashville. So definitely look forward to seeing her live. I have not even met you in person yet, Kendra, so I'm looking forward to that very much.
Yeah.
All right, I am gonna pass this over to, we're gonna start with Kendra and then Melissa and Ryan. Kendra, introduce yourself, my dear.
Yep. So I am Kendra Van Gundy, Director of Support. I've been with BCC I've been in the mailing industry for 21 years, 21 years, Melissa. We've actually been doing this the same amount of time. You're on mute, Melissa. I will be in Nashville next week, and actually Mary Bush will be with us as well.
True.
So yeah, so I'm not the only one on the hook next week. Mary will be with me. She'll be my partner in crime. So I'm really excited to see some of you guys in person. And I'll pass it off to Melissa.
I am Melissa Boswell. I am a technical support specialist. I have been in the mailing industry for 22 years, Kendra. So, yeah, I don't really have much else than that. I'm passing it to Ryan.
All right, last but hopefully not least, at least except in my time in the industry, I'm Ryan. I've been at BCC for about just a year and a half now. It's my first foray here into the mailing industry, so happy to be with you all today and appreciate the opportunity here, Kendra. All righty.
So just for everyone's awareness, each of our presenters today are going to take us through specific sections within our customer service portal. So they're going to walk through that stuff in a live demo shortly. I just want to emphasize that out of all of our customers, only a fraction of them use our customer service portal. And we have an entire team of people focused on building out enhancements, building out new features, building out more mechanisms that by which you can access our support team, customer forums, resources. We were actually talking about some KB articles on an earlier session, knowledge base articles, some videos. We'll even put these videos up there for everybody as well as a resource. So there's going to be lots of potential opportunity for where that self-service portal goes and the kind of resources that are going to be available to you there. But there's a ton there now. We have seen a really great uptick in customer usage on the portal this year. I don't have the exact numbers, but it was a pretty good increase. And I think that has to do with several factors, but it is always good to see customers jumping on that board. So if you don't use the customer service portal yet or contribute to the user forums are completely self-moderated within the group, within the community. Really great resources. And you're going to see that firsthand today. I want to do a little poll real quick regarding the portal before we get into the meat and potatoes. And I really just want to know how many people here that's joined with us, use the customer portal now or the user forms now. Just a nice little way of gauging exact attendance and who we have with us, because it is a really great resource and there's lots of things that people don't even know about it. So I'll leave this up for just a few minutes and let people respond before we dive in to our subject matter. And for those of you who, I know there's a subset of customers here who are joining us who have not been able to access the portal, I'm sorry, the polls, please just put a yes or no in there in chat. Oh, that's nice. Michaela put a comment in here. It's been awesome. The portal has been awesome since the more recent update, including the knowledge base articles. Very helpful. Oh, Kendra, you need to screenshot that. Put that on a t-shirt.
For sure. Yeah.
All righty.
So today in the walkthrough, we'll definitely go through maybe some things that you don't know. Hopefully we'll cover some things that you do know, but we definitely want to make sure that we point out some of the features that you can use in the portal, highlight some maybe tips and tricks. So we'll each cover a different section through the portal. But just, I want to emphasize a lot of the things in the portal, especially the knowledge base articles, support is highly involved in, and we write them, based on a lot of our interactions with the customer. So we try to make it as easy as possible and as user friendly, and try to make it as efficient as possible. We know that all of our customers are busy, so we try to make it efficient, easy to find. And we're definitely looking for suggestions all the time. So if you have ideas or things that would be helpful, definitely let us know. We're always looking for feedback.
And it looks like based on our poll, we do have a subset that we have a lot of active users, which is great. And we do have a subset who have not used the portal yet. So that is really, really nice. 9 p.m. and stuck on a job. This is another one that Kendra needs to screenshot.
Yeah.
9 p.m. and stuck on a job. Me appreciates the knowledge base. Yeah. Questions and issues don't always come up during business hours, and it's wonderful to have resources to turn to. And we are working on some cool portal enhancements and stuff coming in the future to make searching the knowledge bases easier. So stay tuned for those things. Kendra, kick us off into our demo.
Yeah, so I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm hopefully not gonna I've been on 2 other sessions. I'm going to try to not go 3 for 3 of getting kicked off. If you haven't been to the portal, the address is portal.bccsoftware.com. That will take you to the login page. And if you don't have a portal account, please reach out to us, or each company should have an admin. Your admin can set up an account for you. But if you don't know who your admin is, you can reach out to your sales or your account manager. You could reach out to support, and we can help you get that set up. And you'll get a temporary password where you can log in. But once you have that, you can go ahead and log in. And if I remember my password,
While Kendra's trying to remember her password, I want to note that the portal is recently, we've been recently rolling out some security enhancements and stuff to the portal as well. So multi-factor authentication and stuff like that will be is already available in the portal. And we're encouraging our customers to use that going into the fall as we build out more stuff on the portal, such as product downloads and stuff like that.
all right, we'll use my regular account. I
We have to
literally
show
was
off our
just
forgot
logged in.
password feature.
I know. I literally was just logged in. So that will take you, once you're logged in, it'll take you to your, what we call your dashboard. The dashboard is actually customizable. So the dashboard will show, it's kind of, if you think of like a quick access to what is going on. It can be your software updates, it can be portal news or support tips. We don't have anything currently listed out there, but anytime we list a new support tip or portal news, which is done by Brandon and his team, kind of like you need to know this information or some hot news, we'll post that out there. Any system maintenance, if we're gonna have a scheduled outage, that will be listed. But you can customize the dashboard to what you want to see. There's a little settings or configuration option up at the top here, and you can choose which blocks you want to see. So if you don't want to see, for example, maybe the system maintenance block, or you don't want to see the prepaid credits block, you can take those off of your dashboard, and you can rearrange these as to what's most important to you. So maybe you want to see your data services jobs, your downloads, your cases. We'll just move some of these around here. You can change this, and then you'll see the most important things right up at the top. So I can see my most recent data services jobs at the top, the most recent software updates, and the most recent support cases that are up at the top. And I can still see the other items, they're just down lower. So you can customize this. It doesn't affect other users in your company. This is just based on what you've customized for yourself. So you can change that however you'd like in your layout. Also, in the upper right under your account, depending on your profile and your permissions, if you are an admin, you can configure people in your company and the rights that they have. You can disable users, or you can change their permissions if they have download rights or access to the data services store or purchaser rights. You can also change your security preferences, like your password or your username. So you can update that. So there's some different options here, like your notification preferences, if you want to receive product notifications. So that's all under your user information up at the top here. So that's just kind of some of the personalization that you can do as a user. And then Ryan, I think we'll have you go through the software updates.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you for the introduction, Kendra. So for all of you who are already the main people in the organization responsible for those monthly updates, this section should be pretty familiar for you. We'll start off with the products and keys section, Kendra, if you want to move over there. So for any of the BCC software products that do have a product key, so that's not going to be all of them, some are just the downloads, but for any that have product keys, this is where you will find those. So when you get those pesky emails every month telling you you've got your new product keys ready, that's where these are going to show up. So we have a couple of buttons at the top right here, as Kendra's showing now. So we can go ahead and search for a specific product and show all of the keys for that. Obviously, Mail Manager here is not going to show any keys because this is one of our products that is purely download based. But if we were to search for, say, pre-sort, then we would be able to see keys here for that, for the various products that have it here. And then we do also have the option at the top right here next to that search bar to export all of your product keys as an Excel file. So if you're ever trying to pass those around in your company for whatever reason, that's a good way to get all of these out in one go. So yeah, that is the bulk of the page here is pretty simple here. So I think we can go ahead and move on to the products and downloads section, or rather product downloads. So this one we're going to spend a little bit more time on here. So for all of the products that have, monthly releases, whether it be for CAST or the base product or whatever, that's where these are all going to show up here. So again, a lot of you might be familiar with this already. There are a couple things that we want to, bring attention to. Again, you can search by product, just like with the product keys, and we can see the breakdown here and get all of the individual files. So something that this page does also have is the release notes. Kendra, I don't know if you want to grab one of the release notes from Mail Manager here just so we can see, but we do recommend reading these every time a new update comes out. These are great for getting information about what's changed in a potential update, keeping an eye on what bugs might have been fixed, and also just seeing if there's anything that's going to impact your process here. So if we open up one of these, this is just the one for Mail Manager here, but generally speaking, they're usually similar in structure. So we can see the product updates that changed, And then hopefully we can see here the fixed issues section. It'll break down the description of the issue, the products affected, and then also this internal reference number. So if you ever open up a support case with customer support here and they identify a bug that related to your issue, they will typically provide you, or you can ask for this internal reference ticket, and we'll usually let you know. It'll appear in these release notes. So if you're ever waiting on, a specific bug to be fixed, it's always a great idea to keep an eye on these release notes. That way we can see if an issue you've been experiencing has been resolved. And then I think that's really all we've got for the specific release notes here. We do also have the ability at the top left to download archived release notes. So if you ever, have a few versions between when we're doing your updates and you don't have the release notes on hand, you can see all of the release notes for every product here broken down by release. So if, let's say, we want to look at one of the ones from a few weeks ago, we can go ahead and download that, and we can view that just as if we were, one of the release notes for the new version here. That way we can stay on top of all the changes that are occurring. So very good resource if you're trying to keep an eye on the bug tickets. Otherwise, this is your one-stop shop for getting all of your download access here, okay? Alrighty. So next is probably one of the most important sections, I would say, is the support dropdown. As a member of support, I might be a little biased there. So we've got a couple sections here that we want to bring some special attention to. Now, over the next few months, this section may end up looking a little bit different, but we'll go ahead and start off with the knowledge base here. So a couple of people have already brought attention to how helpful this resource is, especially if you're on those late nights trying to fix a case or trying to fix a job that's not working out for you. These are going to be your best friend. So a couple things to start off with. So the knowledge base, if you're not familiar, is quite literally just a set of all of the articles here that we write in support to help you guys out. I would say a good portion of the support cases we typically receive can already be answered or found answers for in this knowledge base. So if you ever have something that you're having an issue with, a great place to start is just typing in what the issue you're experiencing in the search bar here. So by default, it'll be searching for an exact phrase. So right now, if we try to search for the phrase reuse barcode, it's looking for that exact phrase across all of our articles here. We do have the ability to uncheck the exact phrase checkbox to make it so it'll just check for any of those words, but you will sometimes find much broader results that might not all be relevant. So one of the things that I like to use to find articles related to the specific issue I'm having here is we can use the filter by product here. So we can see, we did get a lot of results for this already, but if we search here, if you want to do mail manager here, if we search, we can see that it changes our results here. But let's say, we were working with, what's the one we're trying to find here for a bulk mailer, let's say. So if we switched out the product from mail manager to bulk mailer, because I think we were going to look at that barcode article here for resorting, and I guess there's one for mail manager too. But we can see the top result we get is how to resort and use the same barcode numbers. So let's say my mailing, I need to reproduce it and I don't want to reprint all my pieces, just need to resort. This is what I'm searching for. So we get this result, we can open it up, and it'll usually start off with an introduction of the issue, and then it'll usually go into the resolution steps and pretty much walk you through step by step exactly what you need to click. Like Kendra mentioned earlier, we do write these in a way where they're meant to be, sort of very user friendly, something that you should be able to follow along step by step to get exactly to where you need to be. A lot of these articles will also be accompanied by videos here. So we can see at the bottom here, we've got a video that'll walk you through the steps of this article step by step, whether your preference is to watch the video or to sort of just check the resolution steps. They're both there for you. You can pick your poison there, I suppose. And then every article that does feature a video will also say, if we want to scroll to the top, Kendra, there will be a little video icon on the right side of the title there. So that's an easy way to know if a particular article you're looking for has a video associated with it. If you do find an article helpful, you are able to click yes or no at the top to sort of indicate that here. That's just an easy way to let us know whether this article is serving y'all. And if we go back to the knowledge base main page here, we can actually see every article here. We do have the ability to sort those by views. So if you're trying to look for articles that are generally speaking more relevant, more referenced by people, or people are returning to fix their issues regularly, it's a great way to sort of filter through some of the less useful ones, not because they're less useful, but sometimes issues happen more frequently than others. I believe that is all we wanted to show on this page here. Correct me if I'm wrong. So we can go ahead and move on to product documentation now if no one's got any questions. So while the knowledge articles are all written by support and they're mostly meant to be focused on solving specific issues or just giving general information, product documentation is written by our technical writers here and sometimes goes into a little more depth. So if we look at, say, BCC Ignite, because it does show all of the documentation for all of our products here, we can find some even more detailed information about that specific product that we're looking at here. So whether it's installation guides, user guides, general service information. It's really going to vary a lot by our products. So if you ever have a question, usually along the lines of, can the software do this? And you're looking for a more encompassing breakdown, usually you can find the details about that in some of the user guides for the documentation here. So this isn't something we necessarily recommend reading everything. I would be very impressed if you did, but definitely good to skim this from time to time if you're not finding your answers that you're looking for in the knowledge base and you're waiting on a customer support case. So these are all easily downloaded. You can see the release notes here as well. Let's go ahead and move on. So next up, we've got the support cases section, one of the most important sections for getting assistance with your mailing issues. So we're going to start off here, just by showing you how to create a case, and then we'll go a little more detail on this page here. So if we click that create case button, it allows us to go ahead and enter a topic. So that's actually going to be what product it is that you're having an issue with. So whether that's architect or whatever else it may be. Next up is to select the severity here. So I want to break down each of the severities here a little bit first. So the low priority really just means, this is sort of just like a question, looking for like a walkthrough or an explanation on how to do something. The medium here is you've identified some sort of issue here or something is not working as expected, but you've got some way that you're working around it, but you still generally want to know how to do it correctly. The high section, this is when you have, something is happening that is not supposed to be happening. You don't know how to get around it here. And then the favorite that we all have here is the critical production down. This issue, you can't store any mail, can't do anything with your product. It's completely dysfunctional and is completely halting your mailing production process. So after that, we can go ahead and give a nice descriptive title here to just sort of talk about whatever the issue you have may be. And then you can provide more information in that comment section if you want to give us extra details. And then Kendra can finish typing up this extra descriptive title. And then as we can see at the bottom, we do have the option to drag or attach any files that may be relevant to the case. So whether that might be mail.dat files if you're having submission issues, or if you have screenshots of the error message you're receiving, those are always super helpful, or any log files from your program. Those are all things that are great to start a case off with, even if we haven't asked for them yet, just to make things get a little quicker here so we can get that resolution for you as soon as you guys have that case in. So we'll just go ahead and drop a random file in here, and then we can create our case. So once this is created, this will pop up in customer support.
I'm gonna stop for 1 second.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
Yeah. There are some restrictions on the file types. There's a few files that we don't accept. So if you do find that it's not uploading the file type, you could zip it, or just change the extension to TXT and just let us know that. But zipping works pretty well. So if I know sometimes like we have the architect for job file, like the ACE files sometimes are restricted. So those might be ones you want to zip. But just kind of a precautionary there, but most files attach just fine.
Yeah, and then also important to note there, the max file size for each individual file is 10 megabytes. So if you ever have a file that you need to upload that's bigger, you can just go ahead and let us know, and we can give you a link to our secure FTP site to let you upload that directly. So once we create the case, support will see that pop up in our support queue, and we'll go ahead and grab that case. Usually we have someone going around, assigning those to make sure that the most high priority cases are assigned in a timely fashion. That way we can get to your issue as soon as possible. So we'll go ahead and have Melissa here, I believe, is going to open that up.
I'm actually going to have Kevin grab it, actually.
Okay, perfect. Whatever works. So after we create that case, we'll be taken back to our support cases view where we'll be able to see all of our cases, and that new case will be right at the top here. By default, it shows all of the cases in your organization, but if we click that checkbox here, as Kendra just showed, it'll only show your cases. There are a couple buttons in the top right here that I want to bring attention to. Just like everything else, we're able to search through cases. So you should be able to search for, the description. And then you will also receive an email when the case is created with that case number as well, and a link directly to the case. So you can always search for that as well if you're coming back and you need to see what the actual case is by the case number. So we can see now, Kevin's just grabbed that out of the queue here, so we can see now it's assigned to Kevin here. And this way, as the case gets updated by Kevin, we'll be able to see, well, first of all, we'll get email notifications when he updates it, but we'll also be able to see the changes here. So if we just go ahead and click on the case, we can go ahead and open that up and we'll see, we can see that Kevin here, he got the case and he went to go ahead and send a message on there. So you would actually receive an email when that happens in the status updates. So right now it's the status is set to in progress. That's the starting status of any case here. But once your technician applies to it and goes ahead to save the case, it should usually change to waiting for customer, which means that your technician is waiting for you. So I don't think Kevin's done that yet, which is totally okay. You might need to refresh the page and go back and forth as you see Kendra doing here. Just for, we can see now Kevin set it to waiting for customer. And then, so if you needed to add any comments or anything and respond, you can type in this box here and then just go ahead and click add a comment. Simple enough. And then if you have any other files you needed to upload at any point during the case, like let's say your technician asked for your log file or anything else like that, you can go ahead and drag and drop them into the attachments box, or you can click the click or drag files here button. Again, same restrictions, 10 megabytes, and the file types that Kendra mentioned before. So you can always ask for an FTP link if that is not working for you. So that's cases. Like I said, very good resource. I would always recommend opening a case as opposed to emailing or even phone calls most of the time, because a lot of the time we can just get through these faster, but it really is going to depend on the nature of your specific issue here. But by far, having the support cases gives you the quickest route to getting your case resolved, as opposed to the other options we've historically had available here. I don't know if there was anything else we wanted to cover on this page. We do have the ability to update, or rather to export all of our cases as Excel files as well, like we did in the other ones. Kendra, I don't know if you just want to show that.
Sure.
I
But
just want to note something real quick for all the customers here. The nice thing about the support case system within the portal is that it also gives visibility across the org. So if you have different teams within an organization who are opening specific, let's say you have multiple different sub teams within your organization that are opening cases that are unique to their department or unique to their different scenario. All of that visibility is given to you here. Whereas if a case comes in via a phone call, it is sort of more siloed rather than the visibility of seeing the cases within the case manager. So there's a lot of advantages to that visibility, having it here. Something I know, speaking from working closely with our support team, that I know they do a lot of is they cross-link KB articles and other resources within a case itself. So if you were to call in and just have a troubleshooting call over the phone, you lose the ability to also get those cross-linked resources that support can help provide you. And so there's lots of advantages to not just getting your case resolved in general, but also having that level of visibility across your organization, and also cross-linking over some resources. Support is really knowledgeable about their knowledge base articles and about what resources we have out there, because they're working on them all the time and updating them all the time when new things come out. So I don't know if any of the three of you have anything you want to add regarding what I just said, but I wanted to make sure that wasn't lost.
No, great points there. And we can actually see, I was going to recommend this. Kevin has gone ahead and attached knowledge article on the case here. So we can see that shows under the related knowledge article sections. So always great to have that as a resource there if you can't find anything on your own. And trust me, we've got like half of my brain is just taken up by what knowledge articles go for each product. So if you're ever having trouble finding something, feel free to reach out and we can usually get something to you that might not have seemed as obvious as it could have been.
Yeah, that's also a nice thing too. Like, we've had situations where a customer 6 months later they'll call back and they'll say, oh, I remember this happened 6 months ago, but I can't remember how I fixed it. You have access to those cases where you can look back and see what was it that Kevin had me do 6 months ago. So that's nice to have access to that. But you're right, Brandon. I mean, being able to see cases if somebody's out on vacation, and you can follow up on that case for them to see if maybe Melissa sent that solution. The cases stay in the portal, Claudia, for all time at this
Ever.
point. They don't go away. Yeah, they don't go away.
And then I think to clarify for Tom, it was kind of answered by Kendra, but you can read all of the case details. So if I create a case here and then I answer and I go back and forth with the tech for a week and then I go on vacation, the week while I'm gone, Melissa can see everything that I've sent that's gone between me and the technician on the case, and we'll be able to sort of collaborate on it so that everyone in the organization can, get it to that resolved endpoint here.
One last question I had before, I don't know if we're moving on from support cases, but the turnaround time. The number one reason why I know customers call in is because of turnaround time. There's this, we have a lot of legacy customers who are used to our support team being readily available. And the support turnaround time on cases is still very, very quick. We have a robust support team, and we have a lot of people with eyeballs on cases coming in. So I want to make sure that that's not a misconception. Using the create a case system through portal versus phone calls.
Yeah, I mean, you can definitely still call us. We've not shut our phones off. We are not going to shut our phones off. You can get a hold of us however you want. You can still email, you can call, you can create a case on the portal. But when you create the case on the portal, you have the case number right away. It's immediate. We do love to talk, Kevin. But it is immediate that you have that case and it's in the queue. It's created. It's not sitting in an email waiting to get logged in our system. So that does cause a delay. You're not sitting on hold. You can get other things done, right? You can create that case on the portal. We will get it assigned to somebody. So as soon as somebody's available, and it will go to a person who supports that product. So we have a lot of products that we support. I'd love to say that we all support everything. But we have people that specialize in window book or DAT mail. We have people that specialize in architect. We have people that specialize in each of the products. We have a lot of things to support. I'm not the architect specialist, and Melissa is great at Redpoint and window book. Mary's great at window book. So we know who our specialists are, and we're going to get that case assigned to the specialist that is going to best help you. So that's the nice part about logging it on the portal. If you get us the information, you get us some detail, we're going to get it to the specialist, right? It's not just you're calling in. You don't know who you're going to get. You don't know if they support the product. We're getting it to, on the portal, we're getting it logged to the right person, the SME, and they're going to take a look at it as soon as they're available, and they're going to get you an answer. So it streamlines it, really.
Excellent points all around. One last thing I do want to note on this page before we go ahead and move on. We can see on the right-hand column here, we've got that external ID. So that's the ticket number that I mentioned for our bugs that I drew attention to earlier in the release notes here. So if your case does have a bug and your technician provides that, usually they will attach that to the case and you'll be able to see it in the column here as well. So if you're ever trying to go through and figure out what bugs are still affecting you, this is another great resource here. I think that is about it for this page. Do you want to go ahead and move on here?
Sure.
All right, so under support.
Ryan, do you mind pausing for 1 second?
Yeah,
before
no,
we
of
move
course.
forward? You can't, correct me if I'm wrong, because I don't spend much time in this case section, but you can control the column structure, right? Can you change this view?
I believe you can, yes.
You can. See, I remembered correctly.
Yeah, so if you need.
Yeah, you can rearrange this.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to call attention to that.
No, you're good. I don't have to look at it from this end this much, so good call.
You can even move these columns up here and group them. And we'll look at some more grouping options in some other areas as well. So if I want to group it by like the status of my cases, so which ones are resolved versus which ones are waiting for a fix versus which ones are in whatever status, I can move columns up and group them. by who created a case or by whatever column I want. Kind of
Claudia
neat
asked a
feature.
question regarding, I see you can choose from mail manager, full service, and LE. How can I tell which I have on my page? It just says mail manager. We retired LE, correct? It's just mail manager now?
But there's still customers who have it. I don't know that we sell it anymore. But yeah,
Okay.
there's mail manager full service and just sort of standard mail manager here. So if you're going to select your products, if you just have mail manager, then I believe it'll only actually show you the products that you have access to in this view. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kendra, do you know? Or
No,
Brandon?
it'll show all products.
Oh, will it? Okay.
Yeah.
In any case, you can always see in your product downloads here what your actual version is. So if your product downloads doesn't say full service, then you likely just have standard, or if it says LE, then you have LE. But generally
Yeah.
speaking, when we get that case in, if it's any variation of mail manager here, if we see that you have something different on your account, like if you actually have mail manager FS and you put it in as mail manager LE, we'll be able to correct that. Yeah, if it just says BCC mail manager, then you've just got the standard mail manager 2010 version. All right. So if we go back under support here, we'll be able to see, I think, our last section here, last but not least, is the user forums. So this is a great resource, almost on par with the knowledge base, I would say, if not more. So when you first get into this here, you're going to be a lot on your screen here, so we'll break it down. The top section here has it sort of broken down by product. So again, I'll give a general on the user forum here. User forum, if you're not familiar at all, it's essentially a collection of categories that individual users for BCC can, post really whatever they think is going to be helpful, and ask questions and collaborate on things and get information from other people in the industry. It's just a great place to sort of communicate and talk about, things you might be struggling with or experiencing or looking for solutions or ideas. So that first section on the page here has everything broken down by product. Bottom section here, very important. This is our general forum. So general discussion, but also general announcements, anything from, holiday hours when support's not going to be in here, or what else do we put in there? Sometimes we'll put in, maintenance outages will get planned in there. So definitely good to keep an eye on this here. There is actually a section on the dashboard that Kendra showed earlier where it'll show new forum posts. So that's a good thing to keep an eye on as well, just to see if there's any new announcements. If we go back here, there's also a very important section, the problem notification section. So typically, if we identify a major problem that's experiencing a variety of products, especially things like data services, where all of them across products just suddenly are having issues, this is the section where we will put announcements, and usually we'll keep those updated as we're sort of, progressing through resolving whatever that issue is. So a very important section to pay attention to is problem notifications. Now, if we go back here, so there's the general chat and rants down there, so you can always post down there or just see what other people are posting. Same thing for all of our other, general services across our products, track and trace, intelligent mail. You'll see all sorts of posts from different people. And then, like I said, we have the product breakdown here for the more specific here. So if you're ever having issues with a specific product, or you have specific questions, or you're wondering how to do something, this is another great resource in addition to the support cases and the knowledge base. So like I say, we've got, an update comes out and someone's noticing a new feature, post a question about it here. We do have a lot of our support team members who are, occasionally browsing this and giving answers and feedback through here as well, but also other users who might have already experienced the issue that you're experiencing or know how to do something that you're looking to do. Always just a lot of people who are very, very positive, very, very excited to share their knowledge about the industry with others who might be able to benefit from it. So a lot of great discussion goes on here that you can definitely take advantage of, whether it be, you're looking to figure out how to get a certain result in a job, or you're looking to figure out, how to fix something and you're waiting on your support case still. Anything really that your heart desires that's related to the mailing industry, even if it's not, BCC software specific, if it's just general mailing information, or even stuff that focuses on, the production side of things, like stuff on the production floor. This is a great place to discuss really anything that you think could be a benefit to others or something you're trying to figure out on your own.
Yeah. And I'll just add to that, like there, obviously we deal a lot with the software and postal regulations, and there's a lot of things we can answer. But, if you think about it, we don't actually print the mail. There's a lot of things that we don't physically deal with. And there's a lot of other, the mailers themselves, like the great discussions that happen out here between the mailers in the industry that they deal with, like, printers jamming, right? And cost of supplies and all sorts of different things that they go back and forth on and giving advice to each other. They have great discussions. So if you haven't taken part in some of these discussions and gone out here, I definitely would encourage you. So it's definitely some really good discussions, sometimes some pretty funny discussion. So it's a good place to go.
I do see we have a couple notes about adding the date/timestamps to the most recent post for each forum category. Do we have, I know that there are a bunch of settings that we have access to. I don't know
Yeah.
how much can be controlled. Is that one of the things, or is that mostly
Yeah, so I think it does depend on how you have it set up. And I have, I think, the compact. So we should talk about that. If you go into your settings, and that's one thing you'll want to do if you go into the forums. When you go into your settings, you do want to set up your notifications and preferences. So you can get notifications when there's new posts, and you can subscribe to get the notifications. So I think this initially is set to turn notifications off. So you're going to want to turn your notifications on, so you get emails when there are new posts. And then also you'll want to set up your email. Might forget right where that is. Da, 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 da. Here. So under your edit settings, and you can set your time zone, standard page size. I think it starts out at like maybe 5 or 10. You may want to change that to 20. So some of these settings, and this is where you can set your theme. So again, I think I have mine set to compact right now. We'll try a different one here. We'll say sketchy. I'm not sure what that's going to look like, so bear with me.
and we can see now we get the, do we get the timestamps for the,
I'm not sure if we will with this one. I haven't tested all of these out, but they all look a little bit different. I know I've played around with some of them quite some time ago, but you'll have to kind of play around with some of them to see what they look like, because they're all quite different. Go back here and see if we can change it to another one. I've never tried this one. See if I can get it to change back. Sketchy is interesting, but I had it on compact, which I might change it back, but I think there might be one, and I can check. But I know there's also like a section down towards the bottom that I usually watch, like when new ones come in. And then also again, what Ryan had used, as you had pointed out, on the dashboard, like when you initially log in, that's another way to kind of see like what new forum posts are out there, and then again through the notifications. So I don't know if it kind of locked up on me here.
A couple things I want to note. There were some questions about using AI to help search and summarize formed information as well as portal information. I just went ahead and answered some stuff, but we have an entire new IT services director, and it's kind of a new role in general that's overseeing a lot of our new IT infrastructure reorg. And part of that is starting to explore how we can use AI systems internally, not just for us internally from an efficient internal employee efficiency standpoint, but also for purposes like this. So I'm sure over the next year or so, we'll be once we get that fully vetted and onboarded, we'll start incorporating those things for more customer-facing efficiency things, just like the user form.
Yeah, I'll have to check on the timestamp. I thought there was one maybe, but I'll check and see, and I'll see if we can get an answer back on that.
thank you, Kendra.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to go ahead and move on to the next
Yes,
section here?
please.
I know we're getting kind of short on
Yeah.
time here.
So just to point out, from the forum, you can click on the back to portal if you want to go straight back there. And then I think we're on to services. Right?
Yep, on
Anybody
to
else?
Melissa.
Melissa.
Hey, my turn. I'm going to be covering services and stores. So starting with services, this is going to show the data services that BCC Software offers. So let's go to the data services. Yep, data marketing services there, Kendra. Thank you. So this is just going to show the services down below here are the type of services that we offer. These are the payment methods, of course, at the top there. There's the pay-as-you-go, the prepaid credits, and the subscriptions. Now, the subscriptions you would have to reach out to your sales rep for, because there are certain things that cannot pay subscription for. So, of course, again, that goes through sales. But there are different types of services that are offered. If you expand, let's go just expand one of those, Kendra, please. As you can see, that gives you the quantity, and I need to make that a little bigger, I'm sorry. The quantity and the pay-as-you-go, there's the quantity in thousands and the price per thousand that you would pay. If you click on the more information, that will actually take you to the BCC portal, and it gives you a little bit more information on that data service.
Takes you out of the portal and into
Yeah,
the
it takes
main
you out.
website.
Yep, into the BCC actual portal or the BCC software portal. And then go back to, yep. And that's really it on this actual page.
So when we talked about in prior sessions,
Nope,
even
that's gonna be-
today, these were the data marketing services that we talked about in prior sessions today. The suppression services and address cleansing services, data cleansing services.
Yep. So now back up to services, if we go to data services jobs. This I'm going to take a little bit more time on, I think, because this actually will show you all of the data services jobs for our products that you have run. So customers can come out here and they can see what process they ran, when they ran it, how many records were run, if it's been returned, if it failed. So there's a lot of things that this section here will tell you. Bear with me for just a second. I want to move this over for one moment. So this just makes it a little bit easier for you to, and you can group it up at the top there. You have where you can drag certain things up. So like if you were to drag the process up, and you can see it kind of groups it that way. And then if you wanted to, let's say you wanted to, you wanted a certain section for date from, let's do, you hit the, yes, we're going to do it from a range in between, let's say.
Should we do the first? So from the first to today?
Yeah.
So from, so far this year, we want to see like maybe how many records we've run for each process.
Yep. And then it'll give you, and if you, next to each product there, and you can, next to where it says processes, if you could expand over there. Yep. You can actually see the job. It'll actually show you, yep,
Yeah.
actually, yeah, it'll actually show you the jobs and then the status, the dates.
So I also like to add just kind of, I like to put the status in there too. That way, if I had any that failed, just as an example, so if we do, let's do like the NCOA or like this one. So if I had any that were canceled or aired,
Yep.
we could see the status of each. You're right, Melissa, like we could dig down further and say like, okay, what jobs did I cancel?
Yep.
You
You know,
know, but I like
dates and the
to put
records.
those, yeah.
How long
And you
is
could
the
actually, go ahead.
how long are the records here kept for within Portal?
I don't know,
Forever.
is there
I
an
don't
end
think
date?
there's
I
an
don't
end
know if
date.
there's an
There's
end
no
date.
end date? Okay.
I don't see one, no. And you can, as the rest of them, you can do an Excel spreadsheet
Mhm.
and export that. So if your customer wanted a list of what they did, you could export that and send them a list as well.
Mhm. And you can also, like, if you don't want to do, or if you want to make your filter a little bit more verbose. So if you don't want to do it up here, you're not finding quite the right filter. You can also go down here and expand and kind of build out your filter if you want to get a little more verbose. But this is another way of doing it.
And you can drag more up to where the processes and status are if you want, or you don't have to drag anything up there either. So just really how your preference.
So Kendra, the filter down in the bottom left corner, that had an and. So you can do an and or sort of formulaic filter to that. Okay.
Yep.
Nice. Anybody here with us attending the session use the portal to track their data services jobs at all? If you do, put an X in chat so we can see we can see if there's some activity. Keep going, guys.
Oh, okay. Next, if you go back to services, we'll go over to, I'm just going to highlight this, the mail manager job files. That is actually only for, unfortunately, this is for just mail manager customers. They can download their data services job files if they did not download them from mail manager. Back up to services, path management, same thing goes for there. That is also for only mail manager customers, for mail manager and FS as well. Back up to services. Next, we have the prepaid credit balances. Click on that. We don't
I'm not
actually
sure
have any
what I'm
right now.
looking. Yeah.
But if you had some here, this would show you your balances. We actually have this also on the dashboard. So if you had any, it would be you could show them on your dashboard. Go back to services, and if you go back to the usage, services, yep, and data services usage. So this is also kind of the same thing, is where you can do a usage, and you can do a history. So you could do it for, you could select a month, certain day, a year, and you can do a view history for a certain process that you have ran. And then you can also do a spreadsheet of that too with Excel on that as well. So you could export that if you wanted to send a usage for your customer as well. And I think that's all I'm going over through on services. Next, if we go to store, we have the data services credits.
So
here, this is where,
just
oh,
for
go ahead.
orientation. So the store part of our portal is something that is evergreen. It's ever evolving. As we add more products that BCC Software offers in a self-service model, whether it's a lower tier subscription or lower tier meaning under a certain dollar value. I believe the store itself caps out at $10,000. So anything under a certain dollar value, or credits. If it's a self-serve purchase as you go credit model, we're building out our store section within our portal, and it's an integral part of our product roadmap. So we're trying to bring more products and more add-ons and more credits to you in a model that is easy, convenient for you to refill and organize and keep track of. Not because we don't want our sales team actively involved. In fact, we do. We want you to talk to people. But really, we're trying to make it as convenient as possible for you to refill credits without having the added delay of having to go through someone in order to do purchases in smaller volumes. So if you were running a job over the weekend and you needed to refill certain credits in order to fulfill that job, you wouldn't have to go through a salesperson in order to make that happen. You could purchase those credits through the portal in order to fulfill your account. Take it away, Melissa. Thank you.
Okay. So on here, I like to want to point out where it says important review product compatibility. You can click on that, Kendra. Thank you. This actually will show you what prepaid credits for each product that we have and which ones you can actually purchase credits for on the portal. I love this because it will show you which ones you can actually buy out here for the products. So if you have, let's say you have BCC Ignite and you wanted to do something and let's say you wanted to do this one suppression and you can't buy credits for it because you wouldn't be able to. So you could come out here and look and it would show you if you could or not. You can go ahead and close out of that. Let's see. This also, so if you scroll back up to the top, this will give you your current balance on this page as well. So if you have credits, it will show you the balance here. This will do the purchase for you. So if you were to purchase or if you were to put a quantity in here at the bottom, you would put some quantity in, and at the bottom is where you would put your actual purchase. I can't see at the bottom.
Yeah, the checkout.
Yep, and I won't show that, but.
So this is really, this is something I want to pause here because you might have even caught it in the drop down. BCC Impact is listed within Portal. We are launching BCC Impact this month, as some of you know. And so the subscription tiers, there's different tiers of BCC Impact, and all of them except for one are available for self-service purchase through the portal. So just to refresh everybody's memory, BCC Impact is centered around the USPS promotions campaign submission and informed delivery campaign submission. Those credits are done on a per campaign credit model. So let's say 10 credits, that's 10 campaigns. It doesn't matter what the volume is. Those credits will be available to purchase directly through the portal. So that's a nice little self-service bonus there that is subject to this exact kind of user interface. There was a question from Terry. Are you going to fix the NCOA link credits counts available for those that purchased the 100 mm?
Is it broken? I didn't know it was broken.
Is it broken?
I didn't know. Is it broken? It must be.
All right, let's keep rolling.
Okay, well, Terry, I guess we'll have to get back to that. And if it's broken, we'll note it. The next thing we'll show is the renewal quotes. If you have a quote or you have purchasing credits or you have purchasing rights, I should say, you'll see where if you have a renewal out here, it will show your renewal. Under store also will be your order history. If you have purchased anything or you have any orders, this will show your orders here. And it will show, you can also do an Excel output as well if you needed to do an output file for that as well. And that is it for my part of the presentation.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, we're passing it back over to me, correct, Kendra?
Yeah, I think so. Unless
All right.
anybody has questions or anything else you guys want us to show.
So I just want to take just a couple of minutes and talk about the roadmap and talk about things that we're working on to get added into our customer service portal. More self-serve products purchasable through the portal. That is a main goal. That is an ongoing goal, and that is a big goal. So that is something that is going to be, as I noted, evergreen. So every time when we do add new products to the portal for purchase, please keep a lookout for a marketing email from us, a notification from us, letting you know that you can purchase through the portal. Better security, including MFA, that is something that was recently, just before information exchange, discussed within the portal roadmap team, and it's available now. We're trying to make it more secure for everybody. And that is something that's going to be ramping up in the fall as well. So we encourage you to please get on board with the MFA. Automated low balance credit alert notifications, big one. We've had a lot of requests around automated notifications when your credits are running low, mostly because they don't want them to run out mid-job or have cross departments that are using the same credit pool. They're pulling from the same credit pool, and one department uses credits and then another department doesn't have enough. So having that low balance notification is a big one that we're going to be doing. Same thing with path expiration notices and renewals through the portal. Automated credit usage reports. So as we're doing them, as you're using them and consuming them, internal reporting and usage data for orgs. This is specific to a request specific to some larger organizations that use our customer portal, having better visibility and internal reporting that they can pull from and use. And then intelligent search. Tom was asking earlier about whether or not BCC Software has started using AI in order to enhance some of these search capabilities. It is something that we've explored onboarding, and we're in the process of exploring that further and getting that wrapped up. We're doing some troubleshooting because we're exploring how to incorporate that in a secure way. So I appreciate everyone's time. I appreciate our gold sponsors. Special shout out one last time for our gold sponsors who've helped make Information Exchange 2026 happen. It's been a really wild ride with everybody, and we appreciate that very much. Any last questions? I see Megan's note there. Thank you so much for joining us, Megan, all week. It's been absolutely wonderful. For everybody who's going to be with us next week, I look forward to seeing you. I look forward to meeting you. Thank you, special thank you to Kendra, Ryan, and Melissa for all the time today. I know they're busy. Our support staff is busy solving all of your cases. So pulling them away for these
Hey,
sessions
I want to
is
do a
really
special
wonderful.
thank you and a special shout out to you, Brandon. I think everybody should give him a big round of applause because Brandon, you've hung in there like a trooper all week. You've done an amazing job. So great job to you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate
Thanks,
that.
Brandon.
It's been a journey.
Great
It's been a
job with all the
journey.
content this week.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm so glad we've had a nice core group of us through every single session. It has not been lost on me. I've seen each and every one of you. Ryan, Melissa, do you have anything you want to say before we wrap up?
I just
Thanks
want
for
to say
having
thanks
us.
to everyone for having us.
Yeah.
Ryan's awesome, by the way, guys, because he's starting to job shadow over there in our professional services department. So he's really spreading his wings here at the organization, and we're so lucky to have him. Melissa, you are integral bringing people to Information Exchange. I appreciate you greatly, and thank you very much, everybody. This is the wrap for Information Exchange 2026 virtual. And we'll see you next week if you're with us. The one thing I want to note, we are live broadcasting certain sessions from the live conference. So if you signed up for a virtual ticket, I will be sending everybody those links. It's going to be hosted via YouTube Live. We have public links available, and I'll be sending everybody those links. So keep an eye out in your inbox early next week and join us for some of those public broadcasted sessions so that you guys can also tune in to certain presentations at the live conference. We want you guys to be a part of that in Nashville. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.